The Celts also have Belbog, well-known Belo, whom Bohardius compares to Apollo and says that his name is in form Belenus, Belin, Belus. Theophilus Latour says to be an Assyrian Bel or Belial is found with the Noricans near Achaea under the names Belis, Belos, Belenus. Nobody counts the Noricans, of whom they are modern Slovens among the Celts, but among the Illyrians. The difference between the Celts and the Illyrians is that with the Illyrians the whole people were Serbian, and with the Celts only the ruling class of the people. The name Belgium or Belgium comes from the name of god Bela. Among the Belgians, one tribe which is said to have been bravest among them is called Belovci, and it was in a region of modern Bawais, whose name preserves the memory of the old Belovacs. Pelloutier says that the god Belo, when in the east he is mentioned as Balen, in Phrygia and in southern Italy he is mentioned as... If he in Phrygia was mentioned as Baal, if he on the east was mentioned as Baal, in Phrygia and in southern Italy he is mentioned as Balen. Gauls celebrated god of sun under the name Belis or Belanus. Markel says that the Greek Apollo is Belenos and that the name means the one who shines. In fact, the one who whitens. That in Aquitaine was he called Abelo, and the whites and the Belo in Welsh Devonia. Irish glory in honor of the fire is called Beltane and is celebrated on the 1st of May. The names Apollo and Belino come from the same root. Similar to Belovac, in the South Rhodania there are Tarbeli near Narbona, which got its name from the god Tartan. The name of the god of war is found differently among Serbs in different countries. Sometimes the role is taken by Teut as Seut, sometimes Marsh is the god of death, and sometimes Areta, Yareta or Yaros, who appears to the Greek as Ares. The god was considered by them as a foreign deity and was never adopted by all Greeks, but only some of them. They preferred Athens in role of goddess of war, but Athens is also a faithful imprint of the Serbian goddess Pallas, with the minor changes and adapted to Greek understandings. Pelloutier considers that Teut and Seut are one and the same deity and states that the name of the Thracian king Seutalka or Siutalka, it is the same god, except that Teut, in the role of god of war, is called Seut. In the same place, Pelloutier says that the province of Taulanta around Dures means the land of Teutos. The Celts mention the god of war, as far as it come down to us, under the nickname creepy, horrible, and such is the meaning of his name in a modern Breton language. In Latin, Neosus Essus, which Presron translates as effroyable, creepy, horrible, awful. This must be his nickname, not the real name that remained hidden. Markel says that Essus means horrible, creepy, and such is the meaning of his name in a modern Breton language. The god Buck is present with the Celts under the same name. However, the blacksmith god Vulcan is mentioned as well, and as Areta under the nickname as Chopo or Chopavi, in Latin Camulus. The belief that the blacksmith god was lame in one leg was ingrained among the old Serbs. Pelloutier says, St. Augustine, who also speaks of some spirits that the Gauls called Dusi. Several church fathers support this story. Isidore of Sevilla says that the Gauls called these spirits hairy, long hairy, which clearly speaks that they are the same as satyrs of the Greeks. Statues of a god with 3 heads, Triglav, were found in Rodania. The god Triglav is found everywhere in Serbia. He is especially known in Crete, near Rasen in Italy and in Sardinia. Bochardius lists the titles of dignitaries in Gala in this order: Brenus, Vergobretus, Mar, Rix, Patai, Canai, Bardi, Druide, Saronide, et Eubagi. Strabon tells us that the Gauls elected a ruler and military leader every year. Breno or Brano was the title of a Gaelic ruler, elected and not hereditary. Vergobret was a master. Mar was a provisional governor. Bochardius says Dominus in Middle Ages stamps existed in Western Europe as provincial administrative units. Rix is in fact rich, which Boschor translates as strong or powerful. In fact, it was a military vocation. According to Bochardius, the fathers were priests of the god Bela. For Saronid, Bochardius says that they were theologians and philosophers whom Diodorus compares to druids. In fact, they were priests of god Serbon, and the latter Eubagi were priests of god Bak. Bards were poets and singers similar to guslars. Their role was very significant. Pelletier says, "The way of their life, their profession, the contempt they nurtured for agriculture and science and art in general make them special people. The poems contain their laws, their beliefs and their history. Only the role of Ken is not known to us. It can be assumed that he was one priestly order, since each great deity has its own special priests." For the sake of comparison, we will mention the leaders of the insurgents of Serbian tribes against the Romans in that area from Adriatic to the Danube during the reign of Emperor Augustus. At the head of the insurgents were 2 men, one of whom is mentioned as Brano and other as Bato. Although these are personal names for modern Serbs, in old days they were titles. We find Bato's title of leader among the Serbs from very ancient times. Breno or Brano had a role of president, as we can see. In Rodania he was elected for a year. Markal says that Breno means tribal king, or something similar of that name comes from the Celtic word Bran. In ancient Serbian language, the word Bran means both war and defense. Defensive military force. Breno, the conqueror of Rome, is called Bran, son of Divinovalov. Bran was same meaning as the Serbian names Branko, Branislav, Branimir, etc. Strabon says that Breno, the leader of the Delphi expedition, was from the Prausi tribe. Joslin thinks that it is the tribe of Trauza instead of Prausa, since Herodotus and Titus Livius say that it is one tribe of Thrace, Tauris or Scordis. But Strabo says he doesn't know where Bran's Praus lived. Joslin explains that the Tauris and the Scordici do not exist in Gaul, and that they are Gauls by origin. Joslin did not notice that his Skordiski are everywhere in Serbian land, so that there can be no question of one tribe. Skordiski are Sordis, Sorbis, or simply Serbs. The second in honor in Rodania is Vergobrat, which literally means Vrhobrat, supreme Bato, or supreme brother. The prefix ver in Rodania has meaning of modern Serbian verh or vrh. Among the priests, the presence of Saronida, which should be read as Serbonida, attracts special attention. The 2 well-known names for military units in Rodania are Katerva and Alasata. Both of these names are also found among Serbian tribes in Syria. This is proof that these were general Serbian names. First, The caterpillars are a military unit of 25 to 30 soldiers. First, the caterva was military unit of 25 to 30 soldiers, and among that she corresponded to Roman turma. Basic military unit among the Serbs was called satnija, which numbered about 100 units. Satnija existed in Russia all the way until the Bolshevik Revolution. Satnija was divided on 4 catervas, which is in 4 quarters, because it was the quarter of Satnija. For Alasta, Bohardius says that it is the unit of 1,000 soldiers. Alasta is Alasatnija, that is great or other Satnija of 1,000 soldiers, which in some countries is called as Tisuća. Alasta was divided on 4 units, each of who had 250 soldiers. That's Cheta, which is still today in use. Pritchard and Latham say that caterva is found as a military unit among the Sabini in Italy, and that among the Welshans she was called catorva. Roman turma or turba is torva, which is shortened of catorva. Caterva or catorva is a quarter of Satnija, which is the same as Cheta, a quarter of Alasatnija. Alasata is also mentioned as Alafata, Alavda, or Alanda. Among the military orders of Rodania are mentioned Gesati as mercenary army. Gesati are Gosti, which means guests, as the mercenaries were called also in Middle-Age Serbia, medieval Serbia. In Rodania are mentioned as Kari, the military order, which is completely the same as the Minoyan Kari, about which we spoke already.